On my 2009 Pontiac Vibe, I had a rear right ABS sensor failed. I got the ABS, traction control, and brake lights on. So the hub and sensor are built as one unit. You can't replace the sensor without the hub. So I ordered parts on rockauto.com, brake pads, rotors, new hub. And here's the basic steps. Remove your brake caliper and hang it up. There's 2 bolts for that. Then remove the brake pads and the torque plate, or the other part of the caliper that holds the brake pads. Remove the rotor, and I've already broken it free. I got a little quick tip on how to break those free if they're rusted on. You take 2 bolts you get at the hardware store and put 2 nuts on them and some washers, and as you turn these nuts, the bolt is going to drive against the rotor and pop it off. And I've shown here, you put a wrench and you actually turn this nut and keep the head still, and that'll pop the rotor off. You do one at a time, and you can rotate the rotor. So then we've got 4 bolts to remove the hub. I use the impact to get these off. Of course, the camera dropped on the ground, and then that'll pull off with the hub. But the hard part is actually getting the hub out of that mounting plate. And so we got the caliper, the pads, the rotor, the hub, and the mounting plate with your splash guard, or dust shield, some people call it. And the hardest part was actually separating these 2 parts, the hub and this bracket. And so I dug into the sensor, seeing if there's something hard to push against, and I bought this gear puller at Harbor Freight. It's like $15, and that's how I actually separated these 2 pieces. And they will come apart, and you have to beat it with a sledgehammer a little bit, but you can't separate them while they're stuck on here on the suspension arm. So there's the actual harness plug, and if you trace it all the way up, it goes in behind the back seats, or alongside of the back seats. And so flip the back seat down, take off this little foot pad piece of trim, and then pop off the interior plastic panel that's right there by the weather stripping, and there's the ABS brakes connectors, and it's actually this little white connector down here. It's a 2-pin connector. It's really hard to get your hand in there, but you can disconnect right there, and then go back to the outside of the car and pop out that rubber grommet and pull the connector through. I'm just gonna replace that one, finishing up some other stuff. And so I had the right side, and all I found online was the left side. This is 191-84317 GM part. And the thing is, though, the left and right side, the wires are the exact same length and the same connectors on either end. It's just that the mounting brackets are slightly different. So I took the mounting brackets off the old, like for instance this little L bracket and this corner bracket, and I swapped them with my old part so that I could turn a left ABS sensor wire harness into a right ABS sensor wire harness. Because online, the left one was like $20, $25, and the right one was like $70 for some reason, and harder to find. So there's the complete swap, and here's the new hub back on. Got the new wire harness in and everything mounted up to all the little connection points. So if we look on the back of the new hub, this is where it actually plugs in to the sensor. Okay, so then it's just up to reassembling. So put on the new rotor, and the new hub came with new studs, which is great. And then put your caliper back on, and to separate your brakes, your caliper, you actually have to use a special kit for turning back in the pistons on the caliper. You can't just use a C-clamp like on other more simple cars. You actually need to turn those in with a special kit. You can get it at AutoZone if you want. I just bought mine online because I do my brakes a lot. And then out for a test ride, no more lights, no more dash lights. Even within like 50 feet of leaving my driveway, the lights went off. New sensors working great. And here I'm just going to show my traction control flashing as I spin the tires a little bit in the snow on the driveway. And so my traction control is working again, my ABS is working, and it's just perfect.